I'll start showing you pebbles by drawing them. You make a circle, and then to get to the place you want to start your next pebble, you travel around what you've already done and make the next circle. So this is a new skill you're doing. You're stitching over a line you've already stitched, and this is what quilting Jedi do to get where they need to go. Jedi Knights of quilting. So you're gonna circle around each circle 1.5 times if you're going in a line. So you see I go around the circle once, and then another half time to get to the side where the next circle starts. And you can go on like that forever. So let's try that on fabric. I've made my circle, and now I'm gonna stitch right over the line I've already done to get to the other side, and now I'm in a place that I can do my next circle. Where your eyes look will be important to getting a nice round circle. And when you first start, your circles won't be round. That's fine, just stick with it. They will get rounder over time. But what I'm doing when I'm stitching a pebble, let me get to the other side here. There's the places that I will look, I'll just use my marking pen so you can kind of see where my eyes land. I put my eyes in these places. So I look at the point I want to hit at the bottom, and once I get to that point, I flick my eyes over to here to the next point that I want to hit. And then once I get to that point, I look up here. So that's how I get around the circle, is in kind of 4 parts. And then I look right back at my starting point, and I go back around again. And that's going to become really natural for you as you go to start looking a little bit ahead of where you're stitching. That changes though when I want to travel over my line. Once I'm traveling over the line that I've already stitched, then I start looking a lot closer to where the needle is so I can stay on that line. But now I'm stitching into open space and I'm letting my eyes look ahead. So like I said, don't worry if your circles are a little wobbly, a little funny. If you're not stitching exactly on the line that you've already stitched, it's still going to end up looking really good, because you're probably not stitching with bright white thread on dark fabrics. When you go to quilt your projects, you're going to choose a thread that blends, and that's going to make all of these little tiny differences just disappear. Okay, so I'll finish this, we'll take a look at it, and then we'll do a different wedge. And there's those pebbles. They have such a great texture. I just love rubbing my fingers across them. I hope you give yourself plenty of time to pet your quilting. Okay, so now let's do stretched out pebbles. Let's do them in oval shape, just to fit the space that we have in another wedge here. Pebbles are a lot like loops. You're going to want to just focus on keeping your hand speed consistent as you go around the curve, because you'll probably find that one section of the curve feels more comfortable for you, and you'll start to sort of swoop through that. So just let yourself kind of maintain the same speed the whole way. So you can see, sometimes you can see my stitching falls off the line. And if I go, slow down and go really carefully, then I can do a little bit better job than that. But if I have a whole quilt to quilt, I don't want to go slow, and I don't mind little mistakes like that. And so I hope that you'll give yourself that flexibility to let that be a part of your stitching. Don't judge it, keep going. And when you're working on these wedges, if you want to work on fitting your shapes perfectly in them, that's fine. I don't think that's necessary. So I just let this oval go right off the edge, and you can do the same. All right, so now we can use the pebbles in an inner border, and we'll see how easy they are to turn the corner. When I'm looking at my border, I can already see the basic size of the pebble that is going to fit in that corner. So since I'm in such a small space right here, I can already kind of go ahead and count backwards and see, okay, if I have this much space, how many pebbles am I going to have? It looks like I could fit 3 of them if they were stretched out, or 4 of them if they were tiny. So I'm gonna go with 3. So that means probably here, nope, I'm gonna say 4. 1. So I'm just gonna give myself a little mark there, and that's gonna tell me I'll fit 2 pebbles before that spot and 2 pebbles after. And that'll just help me keep them even. There's my first one, and I'll get my second one to go right up to that point. Fit my other 2 in. And you can see I brought that last pebble right up to the edge of the corner. And that's how easy it is to turn a corner with these pebbles. So now I'm lined up to finish the border. I'll do that and then show you. Okay, so that's what that border looks like finished. And you may be able to notice right here, I got to this point and I realized, oh, there's a space for maybe about 1.5 pebbles, but I didn't want 1.5 pebbles there. So I just let this pebble be a little larger. And really, unless you're really getting up close and evaluating it, you're probably not going to see that. That's not going to catch your eye when you're standing back from the quilt. And remember, when you're quilting, this is as close as anybody's probably ever going to be to your stitching. Like this length, when you're using the quilt, it's going to be on your lap or on your bed or way over on the couch. So don't worry too much about those details when you're up close, because once you step back, it just becomes texture.